Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Dinkar and I welcome you all in this session. Previously at 8 p.m. I have taken a previous year question paper session, and right now at 8 p.m. I am taking the Master Descriptive Answer Writing for RBI Grade B 2021-2022. It is a 100-day series, and we are going to do the 93rd lecture of today. And I hope it's a long journey that we have covered, and most of you get benefited out of it. Hello Akruti. So as we are moving more and more forward, like today is the 93rd lecture, so we are moving towards the more important topics, because we have already covered various other things. So for the new joinees, first of all, let me tell you, it's a master descriptive answer writing for RBI Grade B 2021-2022 100-day series. So here we will be asking 100 questions for 100 days. We have already covered economic and social section. We have already discussed finance and management. We have already discussed essay writing. Current affairs section also we have discussed. So right now we are discussing budget and economic survey. Okay, budget and economic survey that we are discussing right now. Okay, and today is the 93rd lecture, and today we will be talking about the economic survey chapter 2, which said about the fiscal development of our economy. Okay, so before starting of the session, I wanted to just welcome all of you in the session. Hello Akriti, hello The Rock, welcome to the session. Good evening to all of you. So let's start away with our session. So guys, the chapter 2 is about the fiscal development. It is like how the government is getting money, where the government is spending the money, where the government is spending more money, where they are spending less money, from where they are getting money, and what is the way of getting, what is affecting the economy, and what all things are affecting the things. Okay, hello Lalit. Okay, so this is all we are going to discuss in the fiscal development. We will be talking about the central government, state government, and all these things. Okay, so today the topic is too much about the technicalities, but we are not discussing technicalities in this topic. We will be just discussing the major portion of it, what you should actually remember. Okay, so fiscal development. The agile fiscal policy response adopted by the government of India encompassed a change in the mix of stimulus measure amidst a uncertain evolution of the pandemic situation. In the initial phase, the fiscal policy focused on building safety nets for the poor and vulnerable section of the society to hedge against the worst case outcome. So during the starting of the pandemic, uh, just 1 minute. Rajan Sharma, we are not providing the PDF to anybody, because the PDF is only provided to the paid members of Oliveboard. Okay, so ये PDF हम लोग देते नहीं है. ठीक है, PDF केवल उन्हीं को मिल रहा है जो हमारे पेड यूजर्स हैं और पेड एस्पिरेंट्स हैं. ठीक है, okay. So in the starting, when the pandemic has started, government has, the first response that government has done is to build a safety net, how to become safe during that pandemic. So with that keeping in mind, the union budget came. Okay, they wanted more productive capital expenditure, so they wanted to expand on the capital expenditure. So the government budgeted for a 34.5% growth in capital expenditure. So this is a huge growth that government has asked for in the capital expenditure. Normally in the railways, roads, urban transport, power, telecom, textile, affordable housing, and at the same time we are continuously focusing on the national infrastructure pipeline. Okay, then so what all during the COVID-19 situation, what government has done. Okay, so in order to reduce the impact of the shock that has been caused by COVID-19 second wave, okay, last year, which has happened, and support the recovery of the economy, government of India has announced the additional relief measure in 21-22. So here these are the additional relief measure that government wanted to give. Loan guarantee scheme government has started. Emergency credit line guarantee scheme government has started. Credit guarantee for MSME, microfinance institution, has been given. Tourist scheme for tourist guidance stakeholders has been given. Free 1 month tourist visa to 5 lakh tourists. extension of Atmanirbhar Bharat Rozgar Yojana, additional subsidy for DAP, diammonium phosphate and phosphorus and potassium fertilizer, direct additional subsidy is going to be provided. Free food grain to Pradhan Mantri uh, Grama Kaushalya Yojana from May to November. Okay, good evening, Hindu. New scheme for public health, release of climate resilient species trait varieties. So all these things government has offered during the 2021 and 2022. Okay, then after that we have a revival of northeastern regional agriculture market. Then boost for the project export, boost for the export insurance, broadband to each villages using BharatNet PPP model, extension of a production link initiative model. Okay, so these all government has done. In July 21, 23,000 crore has been released as a package one. In December 2021, government has released 53,000 crore rupees under the extension of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Okay, then gross tax revenue, like normally whatever the tax government gets, have registered a growth of over 50%. There is a growth of 50% in the gross tax revenue year on year terms. The monthly GST collection has crossed 1 lakh crore during this pandemic time, and right now it has touched a record level in the February month. I think it's 1.4 lakh crore government has get as a GST collection. Okay, so during April to November 21, the capital expenditure has grown 13.5%. The capital expenditure has grown by 13.5%. Mainly they were focusing on roads, highway, railways, housing and urban sector. So these are all called capital expenditure. Why they are called capital expenditure? Because they are the money is spent on the creation of assets which will produce more and more goods for the near future, or which will be helpful for the future. So that is why this is called capital expenditure. Okay, so what is the performance of fiscal indicators during 2021 and 2022? Performance. So this section analyzes the performance of fiscal indicator and their components for a period of from April 21 to November. Okay, April to November. Okay, so this data has been released by Controller General of Account. Okay, that shows that fiscal deficit for the government during at the end of November was 46.2% of budget estimate, compared to 135% during the same period of 2020 and 21. Okay, and it was 114.8% during the same period. Okay, then revenue collection, how much revenue has been collected? Revenue receipt has grown as a much higher paces as compared to the last 2 years. The current fiscal financial year revenue receipt of the central government has gone up by 67.2%, and it is expected as against the expected of 9.6%. Okay, net tax revenue of the center was around to grow at 8.5%, and this improved performance in tax revenue is due to high growth shown by all major direct and indirect taxes. Okay, so why this improvement? Why this improvement? It is because there was a high growth that has been shown by all major direct and indirect taxes, because direct taxes has been also corrected in a proper way, and indirect taxes, in which major component is coming from the GST, is giving more and more revenues to the government, because right now it has encompassed all the indirect taxes except leaving some of them. Okay, so GST right now in February month, the GST collection was 1.4 crore, 1.5 lakh crore rupees. Okay, then revenue collection with the direct tax, personal income tax. In the direct tax, personal income tax has grown by 47.2%. The corporate income tax from the companies, it has gone to 19.4%, and the gross profit of the listed non-government non-financial companies has grown by 132%, and 21% of the IT sector. Okay, the indirect taxes have registered a growth of 38.6%. The rise of import of goods has ensured due to the recovery in both manufacturing sector and consumption. So there was a increase in the import of the goods during this time because we are buying more goods from the outside. Okay, so that is because why we are buying, because there is a demand that has been created, right? So because of that, the custom collection has also gone high. Custom tax is there, right? Whenever you import or export the things, you get a customs, right? So that has also gone up. Okay, then so all these are the datas, excise duties. Okay, all these things are there. The gross GST collection of center and the state together was rupees 10.74 lakh crore during April to December. This is only April to December. 10.74 lakh crore was there. Okay, the average monthly GST collection is 1.3 lakh crore. Very good collection that has been shown by the GST. Okay, then the non-tax revenue, that means where we are not encompassing the tax, that has also registered a growth of 79.5%. Okay, that was driven by dividend you are getting from the companies, profits you are getting. Okay, you are getting like where have you where in which company you have invested, you have invested, you are getting shares of that company. Government is getting dividend. Okay, the money that has been kept with the RBI is also providing money to the central government based on dividends and based on the profit. Okay, interest payment and all those things. And the non-debt capital receipt include recovery of loan and disinvestment receipt. So what is non-debt capital receipt? So it is not like a loan and you are getting your own money back. So how you can get? So if you have given loan to somebody, you are getting it back. You are selling some shares of the company, like disinvestment. Okay, some disinvestment is going on, so for that whatever the money is coming, that is also coming with the government. Okay, so because of that only government is able to provide the proper benefit to the people during the COVID-19 pandemic, because revenue collection was good, disinvestment receipt was good, and you are getting back your loan back. Okay, so the budget of 2021-22 has emphasized that they will mobilize around 1.7 lakh crore from the disinvestment. Okay, in 2021-2022, the finance minister has said that with the process of disinvestment, we are expected to get 1.75 lakh crore rupees. Okay, and so far the government was only able to raise 9,330 crore as of 24th January from disinvestment. So still it is a long way to go as per the government expectation. Nidhi, don't worry about it. You can join from here only, and when you are free, you can just start from the first lecture. Okay, because everything, the topic is new. It is not like a something in a relation we are going on. Every day the topic is new. Okay, so don't worry about it. You can start from here also. Okay, sorry. Then expenditure, revenue we are getting, money we are getting. Now we have to do some expenditure also, right? So the the total expenditure of the government has increased by 8.8% from April to November. Till now we are only talking about April to November, for which the proper data we are having. Okay, so the revenue expenditure has grown by 8.2%. Okay, first 8 months. The non-interest revenue expenditure has also grew. Okay, normally the major expenditure has been gone in the major subsidies that government is provided. Around 2.31 lakh crore of subsidy government has provided during this period time. Okay, so the component of the expenditure on the major subsidy, like food subsidies, has the major component, like around 1.64 lakh crore food subsidy government has provided. On that day, most of the money is gone over there. Prime Minister is running Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, right? Here we are providing the direct ration, like double ration we are providing, right? So this scheme provides free food grain to the beneficiary. Over the above, the regular monthly national food security food grain. That means if you are getting 25 kg but now you are getting 50 kg, that additional 25 kg you are getting free of cost. For that you don't have to pay anything. Double money, double ration you are getting at no cost. Okay, that government is running because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Most of the people have lost their jobs, so because they do not have the work, because earlier most of the people were migrants, casual workers, so that is why government is providing money to free food to all these people. Okay, so from where this money is coming? The money is coming from the revenue that we have got, and we are doing expenditure on the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Okay, right, all these things. Then long term trend, like what is the long term trend in the government finances? What we can say about what is the long term trend of the government finances? So the budgeted fiscal deficit was revised from 3.5% to 9.5% in the new revised estimate. Okay, so that has been increased. The fiscal deficit actually stood at 9.2%, that is lower than revised estimate. The reduction in the deficit during the current year was budgeted on the account of the reduction of expenditure. So why there is a reduction in the deficit? Because we have reduced the expenditure. So we have reduced the expenditure, that is why our fiscal deficit has come down. Okay, what is the trend in the receipt? Like how, from where, how much money we are getting, from where all we are getting the money. Okay, so the central government receipt are broadly divided as non-debt and debt. Non-debt means all the taxes the government is taking and various other type of things, disinvestment and all those things. The debt means government is taking loan from the places. Okay, so non-debt, बिना कर्जे वाली रिसिप्ट are tax revenues, non-tax revenues, recovery of the loans, disinvestment receipt. And what are the debt receipt? Market borrowings you have done. Like if I come to you and say, please give me some amount of money, I will give you. For that we have to pay interest also, and other liabilities are there. Okay, which government is obliged to repay back. Okay, in the debt receipt, government has to repay back from where they have taken. Okay, it's just like we are going in a bank, we have taken a loan from the bank, loan we have to give along with the interest. But in the non-debt thing, government only takes and spend on all the welfare things and or for the country's development. Okay, so the budget 2021-22 targets significantly on high growth in the non-debt receipt. Okay, so there was a high growth in the non-debt receipt, so that is a good. Okay, because it is driven by the robust growth in all its components. Budget 21-22 envisaged a growth of 16.7% in the gross tax revenues. Okay, so there was a huge increase of 16.7%. Okay. Now, so here if you can see the figure trend in the receipt of 21 and 22 budget estimate, the maximum portion, that is around 29% is coming from your GST. 29% of the total tax receipt is coming from the GST only. Okay, then 25 and 25 it's your corporation tax and the taxes on incomes. Okay, rest coming from the customs and union excise duties. Okay, that's coming from the custom duties and union excise duties. So mainly we are getting maximum revenue from the GST. After that we are getting the revenue from the corporation tax, the tax which we apply on the companies, and the taxes on income and other income like income tax and all these things. We are getting 25% from there. Okay. Now what is non-tax revenue? From where are all these non-tax revenue and all these things are coming? Okay, so non-tax revenue consists mainly of the interest receipt. Like if our government has given loan to other country, so that other country will be providing interest to our country, right? Right now India has given loan to Sri Lanka, some around $900 million or something like that. I just heard that. Okay, so they have given loan for something. So based on that loan, our Indian government will get interest on that. Okay, right? So this is called interest receipt on loans to state, union territories. Okay, then dividend. Government is having a huge share in various public sector undertakings: NTPC, Indian Oil, Hindustan Petroleum, then our Bharat Petroleum. All these places, government is a major shareholder. So whenever these companies declare the dividend, government gets the maximum portion out of it, because maximum portion is of the government. That is why these companies are called as government companies. Okay, and profit from public sector enterprises, including surplus of the Reserve Bank of India, is transferred to the Government of India. External grants. Grants means is something which you don't have to pay back. Okay, external loan is something and grant is something. Like if somebody is giving you some grant, that means they are not expecting you to give it back. Okay, so these are the way from which these are called non-tax revenue. Okay, these are called non-tax revenue. So normally these services includes fiscal services like currency, coin and mint, public service commission, police, social service, educational, health, economic activities, irrigation, transport, communication. From all these places, government also earns some kind of money. Okay. So as per the budget of 2021-22, government wanted to get 2.43 lakh crore from non-tax revenue. Okay. Then what about non-debt capital receipt? That means no debt and capital receipt. So non-debt capital receipt, they are mainly consist of recovery of loans, advances that we have given to any other country, and disinvestment. Whenever we are selling any our public sector undertaking, that we are getting it. Okay. So the share of recovery of loan has declined. Okay, so recovery of loan has been declining over the year following disintermediation of the loan proportion of the central assistance to the state because of the 12th Finance Commission recommendation. So now, and state allowed to borrow directly from the market. Okay, so now you don't have to, the state don't have to just talk about like take permission from the central government. So the budget has said that around rupees 1.88 lakh crore we wanted as a non-debt capital receipt. Okay, so from that only 1.7 lakhs single 1.7 lakh crore they wanted to get it from the disinvestment. Okay, so this year government wanted to disinvest our BPCL, right? Bharat Petroleum, your LIC IPO will be coming, right? So all these things disinvestment government wanted to do. Whenever the government will do disinvestment, the money will come. So government is expecting to get 1.7 lakh crore as a non-debt capital receipt this year. Okay, but let's see how much they are going to get it. Then what is the trend in the expenditure? Like where exactly the government is spending the places. Okay, so the additional expenditure requirement year on year growth of more than 30% in the revenue expenditure. Normally where expenditure is done, salaries they provided to all the ministers, government servant, president, wherever military personnel salaries are there, pensions are being provided. A large proportion of money is spent on salaries, pension, interest payment. Like if you have taken loan from outside, like if you are taking loan from World Bank, if you are taking loan from IMF, you have to pay interest on that. Okay, so are by and large committed in nature and have limited heredom for creating additional fiscal space. So this you have to do, whether you have money or not, you have to do. Okay, whatever you have. So the decline in the salaries was largely due to freezing of the additional installment. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government has freezes the dearness allowance. So because of that money is also got saved with the government, because every time the government checks what is the inflation that is going on in the economy, based on that they increases the dearness allowance. Okay, That means if the inflation is getting too much, so the salary, the pension and the salaries of the government employees also get increased by some proportion. Okay, nearly 60% of the increase in revenue expenditure was due to increase in major subsidies. So major, around 60% of the revenue expenditure that we have done is on the subsidies that we have to provide during this COVID-19 pandemic. Right? So the major subsidy registered a growth of over 200%. 200%, double the subsidy we are giving right now. Okay. So this increase was driven by almost 400% growth in the fruit subsidy. Earlier, we were giving of only 1.09 lakh crore of subsidy, but right now during the COVID-19 pandemic, we were giving around 5.25 lakh crore of subsidy. So that is around 400% increase in the subsidy that we are giving. Okay. So here all the expenditure is going on. So this you can say that the trend in the expenditure is more towards the subsidies. Free ration. Till now government said that till 2024 we will be providing double ration to everybody who is having a ration card. Okay, then capital expenditure is also getting increased. The emphasis on the capital expenditure was emphasized to reach a budget estimate of 5.54 lakh crore. That means we wanted to do capital expenditure of around 5.54 lakh crore. That is around 2.5% of our GDP. As a proportion of total expenditure, it is the capital expenditure has been increased by 12.1%. Okay, and budgetary money we are getting, but we have to also look for extra budgetary resources. That means we have to borrow also the money from outside, because we are not having that much money that we can spend too much on capital, because we have to provide subsidies and all these things, right? So we have to look for extra budgetary resources also. So government has taken a loan of extra budgetary resources of around 6.404 lakh crore rupees of loan government has taken. So you can think of that as government is going to pay interest money on that from where the government has borrowed. Okay, so you can see how difficult it is to run it. Then how much is the central government debt right now? So the government on dated securities during 21 was at 17-year low of 5.79% despite 141% jump in the market borrowing. Total liability of the central government includes the debt contracted against the Consolidated Fund of India, technically defining public debt, as well as liability. These liability are having like external debt we have taken like from outside at exchange rate, but excluded the part of NSSF liability. Okay, there are various things that we have excluded. Central government total outstanding liability is around 117 lakh crore rupees at the end of March 21. A good amount of money government is having at a liability that government has to pay. Public debt account for 89.9% of the total liabilities, like that. So, what about the state finances? Gross fiscal deficit of the state. Now state that we are having. The gross fiscal deficit of the state is estimated to cross the fiscal responsibility legislation threshold of 3% during our 2020-21. Okay, so the threshold for the fiscal deficit for the state has been given for 3%, but it has now going to be increased. Okay, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The revenue deficit of the state also increased from 0.1% to 2%. The net borrowing has also been increased to 5%. In addition, the net borrowing ceiling, how much you can borrow fixed for the state, has recommended performance-based additional borrowing. That means if the state is performing well, the state can borrow more and more money from wherever they want. Okay. So based on the performance of the state. So if the state is performing very poorly, we just do not expect that state to borrow more and more money, because that money will be wasted in various other things. Okay. So those state whose economic condition is good, they can borrow more money. Okay. So new guidelines for reforms in public procurement and project management. So what are the new guidelines? Keeping in mind the limitation of the earlier procurement strategy, the government issued a new guidelines. The key changes are QCBS is now allowed for the section of bidders for work and non-consultancy services. In order to ensure quality, the procuring entity now have to freedom to amend the specification based on the requirement and make a criteria for evaluation. Okay, then the new guideline stipulate timely release of the payment. So you have to timely release the payment of the 75% of the bill within the 10th days. That means whatever the bill has been raised, okay, about 75% of the bill you have to release within the 10 days. The new rule stipulate public authority to consider single bid as a valid provider that procurement was satisfactorily advertised, and as additional method fixed budget based selection was being added for consultancy services. Okay, so this is just about our basic fiscal development that has been happening during the last year pandemic. Too much of technicalities was there in the topic, but you do not have to go that much deep. I just wanted to make sure that you do not have to go that much deep. You just only have to know how much fiscal deficit was there, how much revenue deficit was there, what is the advance estimate was there, what is revised estimate, and what is budgetary estimate was there. Don't worry about the numerical data. Do not worry about the numerical data. They are not that much important. I am telling you now, these are the numerical data that you should know. What is the GDP of our country? How much percentage growth of GDP that has happened? Because these are the big questions. Okay, but do not go too much deeper into that. Okay, just you should know basic, because examiner will be just searching you on that. Okay, only few numerical things you should know for the examination. Only few that are very important. Okay, GDP data, fiscal deficit data, revenue deficit data, and all these things. Only that much. No need to remember that much. No need. See the question. See the question. Fiscal policy is a tool used by the government to achieve its macroeconomic objective. Discuss. So this is the question you have to do. Fiscal policy is a tool used by the government to achieve its macroeconomic objective. Discuss. No technicalities, nothing. Just either talk in a paragraph form, either talk in a point wise form. Make sure that you should make sure that examiner understand that what is the fiscal policies tools that are used by government to achieve the macroeconomic objective. Fiscal policy tools. Okay, they are not asking about the monetary policy which RBI do. Here fiscal policy tools, how the government can increase tax or decrease tax, non-revenue tax, revenue tax, non-debt capital receipt, this receipt, that receipt, disinvestment, all these things. Okay, you can yes, latest data you have to take, Akriti, latest data which is available. Okay, in our Oliveboard we will be providing you with the latest data, don't worry about that. Okay, latest data you have to take, right? So for the new joinees, I wanted to tell like how to attempt the question. Okay, for those people, I wanted to go to the different screen at all. Guys, no, LIC will not be disinvested completely. It's not like that. Okay, fine. So here, oliveboard.in you search. Here on the left hand side, you can see discuss forum. On the left hand side, you can see discuss forum. In the discuss forum, you click on that. Okay. In the horizontal tab, you can see RBI, SEBI, Nabard, descriptive RBI grade B, descriptive job notification, my profile. So here in the descriptive RBI grade B, click on that. Here if you can see that total all the 93 questions are here. Okay, all the 93 questions are here. So click on that 93rd question, start test. So here 20 minutes timer will start, and here you can start writing your answer. Okay, and the word count will be also there. Word count will be also there. So make sure that you follow the proper word count and all those things. You can see like proper how to write it. Okay, so I hope you all got it, like how to do that. Okay. Right, guys, so I have already told like how to perform the answer over there. Now if anybody has any other doubt to ask me, please ask me. No, there will be a percentage of LIC that will be disinvestment. No, it will not be fully. Full disinvestment will not happen. It is a huge firm. It is a huge firm. It is not easy to do that. Okay, only on a parts we can do it. Okay. Now anybody else has any other question to ask? So, guys, if you are attempting three free questions, please use same email ID, and please and you will automatically get 35% off coupon if you are doing it, because we are motivating by providing you 35% off on all RBI plans if you are able to attempt three questions in a proper way. Once our evaluator check it, and they will provide you with a coupon code. Okay, so if you have any query, please email to riti.gulati@oliveboard.in. Otherwise, you can talk to me in my next session. I will answer it. Okay. So, guys, please subscribe to our social media platform on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining the session, everybody. Really great to have you all. I think today everybody is communicating. I can see that today everybody is communicating, you're doing communicating, and it's really very good that everybody is talking in the session. Talk, tell, discuss, all the things happens. Okay, ask questions. If I know the answer, I will tell you. If I don't know the answer, I will find it out and tell you. Okay, but you will get your answer, right, guys? Don't worry about that. That is my philosophy, right? So at the last, I would say never forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Happy learning, guys. Do take care of yourself. And again, I will be meeting you all on Monday then, because tomorrow we don't have a lecture, because tomorrow I have a paid lecture. Okay, for the paid students, class was there at 8 p.m. tomorrow for RBI phase 2 revision. Tomorrow I will be taking, anybody who is there, the paid classes, who is taking classes tomorrow at 8 p.m. RBI classes. Anybody who is there who has taken the course, because tomorrow I will be taking the first revision class. Anybody out of you who is the paid member over there and joining the class? Okay, Indu, fine, great. Then I will be seeing you at, I think it's at 8 p.m. Okay, so I will be taking tomorrow's class, and please be there. We will be doing a revision, and it will be a very fast revision that we will be doing. So I will be telling you what exactly you have to remember for that examination. Okay, so I will be there, and I will be solving everything. You just during the lecture, just let me know if you are wanted to ask. Okay, please join there. Okay, at 8 p.m. And when you join the class, please say hi, hello, so that I should know like who all are there in the class. Okay, see you then. Okay, bye bye, take care, and good night.